Welcome to Sometimes We Talk About.
The latest two Gorillaz albums.
So, we're going to do late Gorillaz because I feel like their career can be split up in a lot of segments, but I think they've had like a pretty cool, interesting resurgence with their last two albums. So it's cool to just focus on those, for a while, because everybody knows about Clint Eastwood and like Demon Days and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so overall, how'd you feel about these last couple of projects?
Yeah, so since we're just talking about the last two, like Song Machine was I would really enjoyed it. I think it kind of had the same syndrome that a lot of Gorillaz music has, where it has like songs that really hit, and then it has like songs that really miss, but they're always like creative. And I felt like Song Machine kind of went back to that energy because the albums before that they're good, but they were getting a little bit more like stale, I felt like. So it's cool to see him like, go out of the box again. So Song Machine was dope, and then the last one that just came out like a few days ago is Cracker Island, and so far I really like it. It grows on me more and more like each time I listen to it. But it's kind of same thing as like I said with a lot of Gorillaz, where some tracks they really are really good and they hit and they're super catchy, and then other songs are just like you could tell that he's just trying something new, but like it doesn't always like hit off as hard. But what do you think?
So I remember these singles coming out for Song Machine, during the pandemic. So for each
it was like during
for
COVID.
each song on this, did they just release a few singles, or was each of these a single that was like released separately, or was it like 5 singles and the rest of the album? Do you remember?
If I could remember right, I think that they released like a song a week for a while, and then maybe the second half of the album they released all at the end. They had a lot of singles. I remember that. Like it went on for a while.
Yeah, I really remember.
Yeah.
It must have been the one with the singer from The Cure that came out first. I remember the very like trippy
Strange Times
music video. Yes, Strange Times. And I still like that song. Preparing for this podcast, it was the first time I heard. I don't know if I had even heard the whole album before, but the songs I remember, that was one where I still like. It's very weird. It's very a little creepy, I guess, sounding. Anxious.
It's almost like, I don't know, it has like this dark like electronic energy to it for like no reason, and then he's like singing kind of like offbeat, and it's like weird piano part.
Yeah, has like cool rhythm.
Yeah.
Some of the like cooler songs that have come from collaborations in like these later Gorillaz, that song, and I think maybe also the opening track, but on the, I guess two albums before Humans, the one with Vince Staples.
Yeah.
So
okay, I'm trying to remember the name,
I'll pull it up.
It's
Ascension.
Is that the song or is
Name
that the album?
of the song. The album is Humans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
Yeah, but I like both of those songs because if you were to, whether it's Gorillaz and Robert Smith or Gorillaz and Vince Staples, I feel like you would expect very different kinds of songs, and those both of those songs kind of go in like a kind of crazy direction, and end up like paying off. It's
right.
To hear like two artists kind of collaborate and make something special rather than, especially at that time when Humans was coming out. If you were to have said Gorillaz is gonna have Vince Staples on a song, in your head you could probably put like a slower kind of beat that you would expect Vince Staples on, and you know, kind of put
Right.
in some trippy psychedelic thing that to put a Vince Staples verse on.
Well, what I love about Gorillaz collabs in general is he takes artists and he like makes songs that would be out of their element, but for some reason he's like so good at it that like it sounds natural. Like it sounds like Vince Staples has been making music like that for like 2 albums already. You know?
Yeah, he's
So like Damon Albarn has like an extreme talent like and versatility to be able to like make a song for each of these collaborators, and to pull it off in his style, you can still tell it's him, and it's still a little hip hop, for like Vince Staples, but like it's like uniquely like
yes.
Gorillaz. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, so back to Song Machine. Any favorites?
Um, I mean, obviously, like New Gold, is even though it's like the biggest one so far, like it's definitely one of my favorites. It's a really exciting track because I feel like, um, you know, they're two like really similar artists. Or I'm stupid. I'm talking about fucking the other album. But in on Song Machine, let me see. Um, Désolé is probably my favorite. Yeah, just because it's so catchy, but it's like somber, like at the same time. I don't know if it's in like a minor scale or what the riff is in, but it's and then it has like that kind of like dub bass, boom, boom, no, 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 boom, 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 and the way he like weaves the verses around the bass line, and then obviously like the like African like artist like collab, on the chorus. It's like just super unique song. It's just really good and unique. Like Wes Anderson or something.
Interesting.
So what was your favorite song?
Uh, mm, I like the one Schoolboy Q a lot. He really delivered on a verse. I don't hear too
Yeah,
much.
you think that was your favorite?
Yeah, yeah, he goes really hard. Um, yeah, I don't really hear much from
Yeah,
him.
Pac-Man is fucking cool.
Schoolboy Q, um, Oxymoron.
For some reason it
He
works like
hasn't
really
seemed
well
to have
too.
like reached the heights that album had. That was a very big album, so it's nice to hear him like uh, still out there, like doing really well because he's really good at rapping.
Yeah, he is. I feel like he's one of those people where like you have to unlock his energy.
Yeah,
Like you have to pull it out of him.
that's what's
And then like once it is, it's like super good.
well, yeah, that's what's interesting about rapping because
Cuz he's really strong on like a lot of features and like a lot of TD stuff where it's not like his album.
yeah, that's like a similar problem, not like problem because Schoolboy Q has a classic album, but Vince Staples was running into because kind of killing it on features, but has kind of trouble finding
Yeah,
like I guess
his own voice,
yeah, in like
style.
identity, yeah, and that's all like
Yeah.
because there's rapping, and then if you're making like you start like building songs like from rapping. I've heard like rappers talk about that, and it's like a thing to learn, you know. But anyway,
Right.
yeah, Schoolboy Q kills it. The what'd you think of that one with Elton John? And also, this is like littered with features. And like I said, I don't know if I had listened to it all the way through, so it was kind of like funny
Yeah.
hearing like people's voices come in and try to, especially
Right.
because that one's so weird.
Well, Song Machine is like, I mean, Gorillaz always collabs a lot, but Song Machine is like uniquely like collab heavy. Like I don't even think there's a song on there without a collaborator or two. And they're always like two artists that like you would never think would like be together. But um, the one with Elton John, I actually like it. It grew on me a little. Like I've probably listened to that song probably like 10 or 12 times.
Yeah.
And like I feel like the last like 6, I really started to like the vibe of it a lot. Cause at first I was just like confused. But then like I started, cause it sounded like kind of random.
Yeah.
But then like the more I listen to it, I'm like, actually like it's actually really well crafted, and you know, Elton John being as like unique and like as old as he is, like it's cool to see him like be able to do something like that. And like I know he's doing like all the like random like EDM stuff and like all that, but it's cool to hear him on like a, you know, cool like indie pop type of thing and like crush it. But what do you think? I know I know it's kind of a unique song, so I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't like it that much.
I liked the vibe of it. I liked him on it. It sounded, whether as far as, I'm not sure if he just like performed on the song, like something Damon Albarn wrote, or if they wrote together. But it's like, it sounds like Elton Johnny, the chords. So you know, he very much fits on it. And I like Damon Albarn because, you know, he tries lots of cool stuff. I don't love
Yeah, because there's like an auto-tune like mumble rap verse.
Yeah,
like with Elton John. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't love Black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chill. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I
he's
but six lack.
Yeah, his
Black
music.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not that good.
I've never loved it, and I've wanted to because I caught like some of his set at a festival.
He's a TDE artist, right?
I don't think so. They're just Black usually, but he performed really well. It didn't sound like he was using any kind of like backing tracks vocally. And
that's kind of
cool. Oh yeah, yes, it sounded very, very good. So, but I just like, every time I've listened to his music, nothing's really. I've never loved I never like found anything I love, and this maybe it would have to grow on me, but I don't know, the mumble. I don't know.
Yeah,
because he's like actually like mumbling to where.
Right.
I mean, compared to Elton John, because Elton John's old, so like when he's recording these things, he can't really like, he's putting in like all the effort, and you know, to make it, and it's like,
it seemed like he almost went for like a, you know, like a kind of like a Young Thug type of thing, you know.
Yeah, I won't even, because maybe I know what you mean. I don't listen to a lot of Young Thug to like say. I know what you mean though, just the experiment, you know, the mumbleness of it.
Yeah, where it's like almost like part of the voice. But no, I completely agree with what you're saying. I think on its own, like if it was standing alone, that verse, I wouldn't like it. Like I wouldn't even say like I wouldn't like it as much. Like I don't think I would like it. But the fact that it's like juxtaposed against Elton John,
yes,
you know, it's kind of like cool to hear. Like it's like something that nobody would have done other than like Damon Albarn.
Yes.
So it's kind of like the way that you see like a crazy movie.
It's a cool world.
Like Straw Dogs, where you're like, okay, I don't know if I like this movie, but like it was a good watch, and like it was out of the box, and it was something that I wouldn't have thought of.
You know what? That's how I feel about a lot of the material on these two albums. Like, even if I don't love a song, there's usually like the magic didn't happen, but like I like each collaborator like kind of did their best, but just like, you know, the magic doesn't always happen.
Right, and like the just enjoying the creativity is like part of it, because like it he Gorillaz like stands out, because one reason why I wanted to talk about these last two albums is they actually like have held a decent like fan base and like consistent, he's filling like arenas consistently, and like I can't think of a bigger artist that's more unique other than maybe like Tame Impala, but even that is like a little different. But I would say like Gorillaz is the biggest like unique artist out there. Trying to think.
Radiohead.
Yeah, true. Radiohead, but that's like indie. I'm trying to think like pop, like because Gorillaz is kind of pop.
They are pop. Yeah. Although they haven't had a pop hit since the 2000s.
Right, it's true. But they do maintain a solid fan base, and yeah, it's just super unique.
It's really cool. I mean, the fake band. What a crazy.
Yeah. I know. We haven't even touched the like lore
fake
of
anime
the, like,
band.
story and like the band. Like I don't really know that.
Probably
much about
won't
it.
because
I don't know if you
it
know.
seems less relevant with these recent releases, and as he's gotten more feature and like collaboration like heavy.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think, because he released a solo album, I think maybe last year, and I wasn't a big fan of it. But
Yeah.
the Gorillaz is kind of just now turned more into like Damon Albarn collaborating and trying like cool stuff like that. With
Right.
like, and I guess pop music with popular artists. And then there's Blur,
Yeah,
which
and-
is the band. And then
and-
his solo career was just kind of him by himself. I don't know. It was kind of weird. I didn't really like the album that much.
I haven't heard it. I'm gonna have to check it out.
It was like very like dull
Uh,
and like
Really? Well, I'm not the biggest fan of Blur, to be honest. Like, I've
Yeah.
tried to listen to them a couple of times, and like I can't really get into it. I don't know.
we weren't there for Britpop.
It sounds. Yeah, I was just about to say it sounds a little like dated.
Yeah.
But the thing what's so crazy to me is that Gorillaz stands out so much from the rest of his music. When you hear like Radiohead, and then like Tom York comes out with like a solo album, like it's gonna be like pretty interesting. But like for Gorillaz, I feel like Damon Albarn's other stuff, like it doesn't really compare to like his Gorillaz stuff. So it's almost like two different people. Like it's weird.
Yeah. Some of it must be songwriting. And this is weird because I like Gorillaz a lot, but the like 2D voice, and I don't know if it's like it depends on like the composition or like what, but sometimes I like do not like it when he's singing, and
His voice.
it's not so much like him and his voice, because he has a cool voice, and
Yeah, I was gonna say his voice. I actually really like his
especially when he
voice.
talks. But when he's doing like, it's almost like a caricature of like 2D, of like the cool 2D voice through like a vocoder thing, like the what Feel Good Incorporated like chorus kind of sound, the 2D voice.
Oh yeah,
When
like where he goes like high.
not high, but just it's like lo-fi thing on his, you know.
I like that, but maybe
I like it
'cause-
on that song, but like when
Yeah.
it goes into that and like on hooks that like aren't like as strong or something, it kind of just feels like a like I don't know, like filler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like his default.
Yeah.
I'll have to like hear a
Yeah.
track. Like I'll have to hear a track where you kind of feel that way, because I'm somewhat biased because I actually like really like his voice, so it never like really bothered me. But I have to see.
I like his voice when he like does when he like talks and does like percussive
Yeah,
British that stuff. It
there's
sounds
one
very
where he sings. There's one where he sings on this album that I actually really like, and he's actually singing more like melodically than usual. It's called Aries. It's the one that's like ba ba na 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 na. You know?
yeah.
Hello.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that one yeah, that one's cool. It kind of
That
remind me, I guess I don't want to say like 80s. I don't know, it has a nice little like light feel.
No, it does. It has like this like bubblegum pop feel, but it's still kind of like melancholy, which is one thing that I love about Gorilla. I love the way he writes like that because a lot of his songs are like melancholy but pop at the same time,
Hmm.
and I feel like this one has a good like that. This one's a good display of it, and this one particularly is kind of new wavy with the guitar
Yeah.
and like British new wave, and it kind of like just really works.
Yeah. He has like it's kind of hard to pin down just because there are so many like different influences coming like through these songs. And especially because he's
Yeah.
collaborating with so many different people, bringing so many different types of styles.
Oh
Um
yeah, so many.
and yeah, in this pop format. I feel like he's even gotten like better at producing. I like the sounds that are coming. I think it
Yeah.
all sounds like very nice and very good.
No, there's so many like one thing I really picked up on listening to these last two albums is there's so many like underlying textures to the pop songs cuz you think they're simple, but then there's like pads and like synths like moving like their high pass to low pass filter and like doing little like weird things,
Yes.
and that's where the magic really is because like it hits your subconscious, and it all like kind of mends together to be like this like really cool thing. So I was really impressed with the production, on these ones too.
Yeah, it's not like too in your face psychedelic, but it's like almost subtly psychedelic. As far as like
Yeah,
how it
yeah,
tries
yeah.
to maintain its feel, like how trippy it tries to like come off.
Damn, the more we talk about these, like I already really like them, but like I'm just like respecting them more because they're just it's so crazy that he's like a big artist and like that the songs are these like unique,
Yeah, I mean he lives in a very like I mean it's very cool that he's able to become as famous as he is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but oh, so many songs. The
Momentary
I was about
Bliss.
to
That sounds
yeah,
sick.
that was a single I remember hearing before. I think he even kind of references lovely Rita May from the Beatles Sergeant Pepper.
Oh shit.
I was
I didn't catch that.
I kind of hear him like saying something because there's like the chorus like Rita, da, da, da.
Okay, I
And
remember
he's kind
that.
of talking in the
Yeah.
background. It sounded like he was saying like Rita May I'm not sure though, but
I'm about to look
listen,
at the lyrics. I could see it.
Rita.
I mean, they're both super English.
Yeah, but the Rita May, he kind of it's not. I don't know if he would be in the lyrics 'cause he's like saying it in the background, like it's like
Right,
low.
right. Yes, and Anita. Yeah. I liked how it goes like British, like punk at the end. I was gonna say like I don't know if there's like any artists like this. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment if you know of any like British pop punk that kind of sounds like this song Momentary Bliss like at the end, but I would love to hear a band that actually like plays in that style.
Um, I'm sure there are. It sounds British, right?
British. Yeah, it's. I mean, I mean, they're both really British artists, and like they obviously have like the accent and stuff, but there's like this vibe to it that like I feel like I've heard before from like newer British punk bands, but I don't really know that much about it.
There's a lot of random fucking British music that is like really famous there. When you see the like Glastonbury Festival, they're like on the pyramid
Dude,
stage.
you know who's a perfect example of that? PJ Harvey.
What about PJ Harvey?
He's famous as fuck in England,
Oh.
but not in America.
Yeah,
And he's good.
yeah, I see his name a lot.
Yeah, he's actually pretty good.
But yeah, dude, those motherfuckers will know like every word to like, you know, it might as well be like Tom Petty up
It's like
there
a random
or
ass
something.
song. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like this.
You're like, I've never heard this song ever. Like,
Yeah, it just kind of sounds like a
Yeah.
rock, like pop. It's usually like some sort of rock pop / indie, some sort of ballad.
well, Oasis, like, okay, like in Britain, like Oasis, like brought like a new genre to like Britain, but like in America, like it didn't like manifest.
Yeah.
So that's where we decoupled. That's where we decoupled.
Yeah, what was even going on in America during that time? So I guess
Hip hop.
that made up for Oasis.
Hip hop.
Yeah, it was like right
Yeah.
after Nirvana. Probably it was like Nirvana and
And
hip
then
hop.
and then they tried to, and then the industry plants tried to bridge the gap by having Jay-Z sing Wonderwall, and it backfired.
One of the worst videos of all time.
Fucking love that video.
Yeah, it sucks because
Like that's up there with DJ Khaled playing guitar.
I like Jay-Z too, but that was
He can't sing. He just can't sing. That's okay. I can't sing either.
I don't even know.
But he can rap.
I don't even know what he was really like going for or trying to do, but
He was probably drunk as fuck.
he doesn't catch me as a. I don't know if he seems like a person that drinks to me. I don't know. He's a billionaire. Who knows what he does?
Yeah, I feel like he probably drinks like champagne and shit. Shit that we can't afford.
He only drinks stuff he wants us to buy. That's the stuff that he wants us to see him drink.
Yeah, for reals. I feel like he has an alcohol. I was gonna say on
Ace of
Song
Spades.
Machine, there's that song at the end that we were just listening to. It's called "With Love to an X," and it has Chai and JPEG Mafia, and it's like
MLS.
sick fucking crossover.
Called MLS.
Who?
The song's called MLS.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It's one right next to
I
it.
must have mixed it up with a different one. But
Yeah, it's right after.
But yeah, no, it's the perfect mix. It's sick.
Yeah, so do you think with pulling all of these collaborations, you know, and he's producing these songs and it's pop music, does he have a hit left in him?
Like solo,
No.
or like, oh, you mean just like a hit? It's hard to say, but
Because he's making a lot of music and, you know, sometimes, you know, like Pharrell has like
Also-
come back a few times with hits and
yeah, true. Like happy or something, but like also like it's hard to compare because like a song like Clint Eastwood, you know, or Feel Good Inc. Like, how do you even like? You wouldn't even know if a song was that. Like, how do you make a song that big these days? Like, I don't think any songs are that big these days, other than like maybe like BTS, like Butter. You know, to the point where like no matter where you go, like you hear it. Like I feel like Feel Good Inc. was like no matter where you went, like you heard that song for like a good like 4 years. I don't know if he has that in it. I don't know if anybody has that in them. I think it just comes out. Like you don't know what the fucking masses are gonna like gravitate towards, you know.
well,
like that.
yeah, I'm sure, you know. Otherwise, he probably would have written, you know, he would have had one But I was thinking just more just
Right.
like if he's collaborating with this many people and coming out with this much music because he also released a solo album, and these albums are not too far away from each other. 2020 and then 2023.
Yeah, he's probably almost done with his new album right now, and he just came out with an album like a week ago.
Yeah. But I mean, Phil, what was it? Clint Eastwood. I don't think that was like a number one or anything. It was a big song in America.
It was pretty big when he did it at the MTV Awards.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever seen that video.
I've seen like the Feel Good.
It's like legendary.
Yeah, I've seen like the Feel Good. I mean, I remember they were big enough to our age. We knew about them, so you have to be really big.
It was like formative memories.
It was on TV.
Like you just remember it. Yeah. The background.
Yeah, the first time I remember seeing
like Freak
it
on a Leash
was not Freak on. I don't know what the fuck they would have played it on. Whatever channel
like
it was
MTV.
on. Yeah, that
Hot Topic.
I think it premiered on Toonami,
I think it did.
which I doubt I was watching Toonami, but it definitely did scare my sister. I remember. She like left like
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to do a whole episode on their like early stuff, like
yeah.
on the rest of their. We'll just do one on like the rest of their catalog. I mean, I could do a whole entire one on Demon Days or a whole entire one on Plastic Beach. So, to be determined.
Yeah.
Plastic Beach deserves its own.
Or the fall. The fall.
Yeah, dude, we should do one on the fall.
I think the Plastic Beach in the fall would be a good one.
That would be cool. 'Cause it was like same era. That was the golden era, I think.
The gold.
I mean, it's all good stuff, man. He's actually pretty consistent, like overall. And but that's my favorite era of Gorillaz, Plastic Beach and then the fall. It was his most. He must have been going through it, dude. It's his most like melancholy for sure. But they're all good.
Yeah. Well, what do you? Okay, melancholy, which that is in his music. But I mean,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
I mean, just the notes that he chooses, to me, they just sound like more melancholy than like the usual like pop or even like hip hop music. So
Like a mixture between.
and I mean, he even has a song called "Up on Melancholy Hill." Like, I feel like he likes to write in this like pocket of like catchy and poppy, yet like he'll change it to like a minor or like something like slightly like uncomfortable, and it makes it sound like kind of like sad a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right.
And it's pretty consistent throughout his career.
He definitely has a sound, despite all the different things he tries to jam in, which is what I was gonna say next. Like he sometimes it could come off like I don't want to say like one dimensional, but there's definitely like a world that he lives in.
Yeah.
This Gorillaz world.
And he'll default to like something crazy, but that's like just what sounds normal to him. You know, like the drums are doing like some like crazy hip hop thing, and the synth's going like beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just like the song.
Yeah.
But we should move on to Cracker Island.
Sure. Cracker Island.
Yeah, let's do it. It's Cracker Island. That's basically Australia.
Yeah, I like kept trying to, not really kept, but it was like, what joke? And Australia, New Zealand, but
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck he means by Cracker Island.
none of it was
honestly
hidden.
I'm sure it's out there. I mean, he named the whole album that. I'm sure it's out there, but I don't know.
I don't know. I wasn't really even
But
following like an overall theme to this album. I listened to it a few times.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you like this one or Song Machine better?
Song Machine is like so much longer, and it's
Yeah.
like with the
Also, it's hard to tell because this album came out like less than a week ago. So
yeah. I mean, Cracker Island definitely has like more accessible kind of sound. The singles leading up to Cracker Island, I kind of liked. Well, the Thundercat song I like a lot. It's one of my favorite Gorillaz songs to come out in recent years.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Cracker Island is a cool
so
song.
that made me pretty excited to hear the album. I didn't think the Tame Impala one was bad either. I was expecting like something kind of mediocre. It's a kind of hyped collaboration between them. As soon as
Right.
Gorillaz like, probably started rolling out Humans, that was like a collaboration that a lot of fans I think really wanted.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of crossover between them,
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
like the psychedelic
in their own ways.
pop version of when people try to like throw rappers like, oh, like wouldn't it be the best song if you had Drake and Kendrick and Eminem?
Yeah, it's like the goats of like psychedelic pop writing,
Yeah, which
you
is
know,
like
coming together.
you know, if they write a good
Just sick.
song out of it, then okay. But it's like it's like a dumb thing to like want.
Right.
But I mean, it was still fine. I thought it was. It wasn't like my favorite song ever, but it was as good as I
New
think they
Gold.
could have. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like it's just a really like easy to listen to song. Like you could just put it on and like just like enjoy it.
that's how a lot of this album
You know,
felt.
is it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same. It's like super listenable, you know. But they're like,
This
a couple
sounds like
tracks
music to me.
pop out to me. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like a couple of songs pop out to me. I think I like Song Machine like a little bit better.
Yeah,
But it was still like a good listen, and I do feel like listening to it a few times, I picked up on things that like I didn't notice the first time I listened to it that made me like it more. You know? Like I wasn't liking it less the more I was listening to it.
yeah. There's
But
a lot.
New Gold,
I
huh?
was just going to say that there's just a lot on that album to like. You know, so even if you don't like
Right.
love some, there's just so many. You know, you could pick out the ones you do.
Right,
Like.
there's like something for everyone. Yeah. But New Gold is cool. I mean, it's in 6, which is pretty cool. You know, that it's like catchy and like in 6. And the bass line on it is actually like really nice. And like he does like some offbeat stuff
Yeah.
and like on the bass line and I kind of want to learn it on bass. It's pretty cool.
Did you like
There I do have one song that I really did not like on this.
and
Can you guess?
the one with Beck?
No, that one was not that good though. That one was actually better than the one on Song Machine though, because the one on Song Machine was ass with Beck.
Is it the one with Stevie Nicks?
No, that one's cool. I really didn't like the song after that, the influencer
Oh,
song.
the Tired Influencer.
Yeah, that one was just like, okay. It felt kind of boomerish.
Yeah, I mean, it did.
And it was just like, it didn't really have like a good hook or anything. I was just kind of like, why is this? Like, you could have not done that. It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, with the groove and since it came off, you know, kind of, it felt Gorillaz-y. I like the song after that though a lot. Silent Run.
Silent Running.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is probably my favorite. That might be my favorite song on the album.
It's the one that when it came on, I got pretty pumped to hear again.
I got chills from the song, like on the, like on the chorus. It's like so good.
Yeah. It's catchy. Sounds really nice. I'm curious if it like will stick around with me.
Live anthem. Yeah.
Yeah, they're touring. I wonder they'll probably. Oh, I guess they're playing Coachella, huh?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I just realized that I hummed Baby Queen, which is also a really cool song that gave me chills, but I also got it from Silent Running as well. So, yeah, they're both fucking anthems.
So apparently that's like uh, a true story. When Damon Albarn was
Baby Queen?
when he was in Blur, he met the princess of Thailand.
That's fucking cool. I like the lyrics a lot. They're like, it's like a cool story, and I was wondering if it was true or not.
Yes, and he wants to meet her again, I guess.
Dude, I think he has a crush on her.
Yeah, maybe.
But it's
that was like 30 years ago, man.
It's a great
Come on.
song.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and now she's like of age.
I don't know if this was like
It's like Game of Thrones. Like, oh, you've grown so big.
it's like the demo version.
You're a woman now. Yeah.
Yeah. Hearing that it was a real story, I guess, changed it. But I mean, it seemed very Gorillaz. The song seemed probably most Gorillaz.
Yeah.
I don't even know. That's not really. That's not saying anything. I'm not even sure what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it. Like, it was fine though, but it was not one that was technically standing out to me.
Yeah, it was standing out for me, and I when I was listening to it, I'm like, probably doesn't like this song, but I fucking like
Really?
this song. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
I just felt that way. Oil. That's a song with Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
At first, it's kind of like the Elton John one. At first, I heard it and I was like, okay, like it's kind of sounding kind of random, but like it's cool that. But the more I listen to it, I'm like, actually, this song is really good.
Yeah. The first listen, it just sounded fine to me. But I mean, it's like the rest of this album. It's all very like accessible. And yeah, she, her contributions are just basically as she's like harmonizing like later on in the song with Damon Albarn, which
Right.
I kind of like that way. You don't need to give her a whole thing if he felt her voice would sound nice over, and I thought it sounded nice.
Yeah, it just worked. It worked. Lyrics were pretty cool too. They're like some political thing or something. They're cool.
Yeah, I wasn't
Kind of remind me of like kids with guns or something.
thematically. I wasn't following what this album was saying too much.
It was hella random. Some songs they had really cool lyrics, but they didn't really seem to make like a ton of sense. But in a way, like I like that. Like I like when it sounds like that. That's one thing I really like about the Beatles, like especially their later stuff, is their lyrics don't really make all that much sense, but it just like works. It actually sounds better than if they did make sense, because it puts your brain in like this weird position where you're like trying to connect things that you don't necessarily like have a reference of.
Yeah. I don't even understand how that works. Even on Cracker Island, one of the lyrics is nothing more to say. He says the same thing.
I have nothing more to say.
Yeah, he says like the same thing 3 times in a row. Then on the 4th one, he's like, I have nothing more to say. And it's like, that's all. Somehow in music, that shit works. Like, if you had like...
It works because it's like, you have to have the energy, because the energy is the most important part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the story.
I guess...
Or even what you're saying.
I guess movies get away with like plot holes and stuff, like people I guess could dissect The Dark Knight, but as a movie, The Dark Knight works well, in that medium. But it would almost, I mean, the example right before I thought of that, I was going to give Like that'd be like if a movie just so ended, they're like, oh yeah, we don't know an ending, so it's over now, like the movie. And
Yeah,
like
like
that'd be like
Sopranos.
retarded. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a whole other podcast, me talking about Sopranos. Actually something, oh, this might be bad. I don't know. But so you know the offer, the making of The Godfather. And then
Yeah.
without even watching The Offer, if you like know The Godfather and like uh
So it's a show with Miles Teller, and it's about the making of The Godfather, the movie
yeah,
from the book.
I'm not going to be talking about the show as much, just more about the lore or like the story of just basically the mob uh not liking the book and then not wanting the movie to get made because it
Uh-huh.
would portray like negative stereotypes about Italians, you know, because they didn't want to be
Yeah,
seen as
yeah,
just like these, you know, gangsters and, you know, tough guy, you know, whatever.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And I guess in the offer, or how, you know, Ford Coppola and the author Rizzo, or I forget whatever his name was, we're trying to sell like the idea, like, oh no, this is like a story like about family. But The Sopranos
Uh-huh.
is like everything that the mob was like super upset that The Godfather was going to be. It
Oh
portrays
yeah,
Italians.
it's like the most stereotypical. I mean, it's almost like comedy. Like honestly, there's parts of Sopranos that are like legit just like
It like
comedy.
almost made me not like him. They're, all the
But
characters
also at the
in the
same
show
time,
are
like
fucking bananas out of their fucking mind. Tony Soprano is like flipping out, like for nothing, for like
yeah,
he's breathing. Uh, Polly Walnuts is like a cartoon character. Hey, it's like
you honestly you bring up a good point, and like all I have to say about that is that The Godfather the movie came out what in like the 60s, the
70,
70s,
something like that.
like early 70s. Yeah. And then, oh man, my God, Dark Side of the Moon, Godfather coming out at the same time. Anyways, so the Godfather came out, right,
Some
70s.
people in California that were potheads, like I don't know like exactly how this lines up, but like with those albums in that like around the same time, like got like a classic rock
Zeppelin,
album
Black Sabbath.
and like
Yeah.
went and saw The Godfather,
That was truly the golden
and
era of like
they were
life
just
itself.
chilling. They were the most mad chilling.
Yeah. Um yeah, and like their weed was like shit, so like they weren't even that high.
Chilling.
They were just like buzzing, just like having a nice
Yeah.
time. But anyways, so The Godfather comes out in the 70s. Then there's 20 years of just non-stop like mobster like movies, you know?
Yeah.
Like to the point where it became like a western, like it became like ridiculous. And then like I think The Sopranos, I've never thought about it in this context, but it makes a lot of sense of why it like blew up so hard. Cuz I watched it and it was really good, but like I was kind of like how is this like as big as it was? And like I think it's because like it was like almost an antithesis to like mob like culture. It was like funny,
Yeah.
you know, because they mobster movies like take themselves so fucking seriously sometimes. And that's kind of, I mean, I didn't watch The Irishman, but I know that it's about like Scorsese talking about the death like of the genre basically. So
Okay. Yeah.
Sopranos is like that.
Yeah, because even like if mob movies are, you know, supposed to be funny, all the characters through and through usually take themselves like very seriously, and that's like the attitude a lot of the characters in Sopranos have. But they're all, a lot of the problems that they have are like very like human and awkward, and kind of takes them out of
Yeah.
that
Kind of
world.
cringe.
One of my
And
favorite
then
scenes.
they like die in like a weird way. Like fall down the stairs or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the fucking grandma has a fake face. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, yeah, dude, that shit looks so. That shit aged like milk. That shit aged like fine milk.
I didn't know what had happened around it. I was just watching this show and just something.
I had to Google it. I was like, why is her face so fucked up? And it's like, oh, she died. I was like, damn, that sucks.
Yeah, but that character was so good. Like, oh,
Yeah, she was so
she's
good.
fucking annoying. Like when it shut up about being a
She
fucking
was
burden.
like exactly like she's just like getting under like Tony's skin like so well.
Yeah,
Like just the only the way a mom could.
yeah. That first season's like really, like it's pretty good. A lot of the problems are like, with Chris giving Meadow like drugs for her test. That was not a, I wish that it had
Yeah,
been
and,
addressed
like,
more.
When I don't know if this is in the first season or the second, but like when Big Pussy died, like that was a great like piece of TV.
Oh, they like take him on a boat and kill. That might be second season.
Yeah, that was a solid plot point. I was like, damn, like I thought this guy was in it for the long run. Like that's what makes you that's what makes you realize like Tony's like a legit savage. Like that's when he goes from being a mob boss to a psychopath.
Well, yeah, Big Pussy had it coming. I think he was an informant.
That's yeah, true.
You take that. It's like a very serious.
That's true. I forgot that he was. I forgot that he was a rat. No, they had to kill him then.
Oh yeah,
I'm tripping.
I don't know. Was he
Yeah,
made?
He was a rat. I think he was made.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, if you rat, because you still die.
Oh no. Yeah, you definitely, because it's like it. They have like a religious like ceremony when you're made.
Yeah.
So I remember when Chris got it. But yeah, yeah. Anything, anything more? Oh, skin. Oh, I'll shout out Skinny Ape.
I was just about to shout out
Skinny Ape
That
is
was
like
the last thing I wanted
the
to say.
exact type of energy I like with this band, and like how serious it's supposed to take
really
itself. Because with
Mhm.
the collaborations, I don't know. There's comes like expectations and stuff, but
Yeah.
Skinny Ape is like a very like almost like classic like Gorillaz song to me.
Yeah, it
I
is.
was like, I like what he's singing about. It kind of reminded me. It gave me of like, and I don't really like Kid Cudi's music, but it reminded me of like early Kid Cudi.
I could see that. Yeah, it had a really cool energy of it. It kind of had the same energy as like the one from the last album with the one we were just talking about. Oh yeah, Momentary Bliss. It kind of had that same kind of energy, but then the lyrics were more like early Gorillaz-y, and yeah, it's a cool little nugget, a cool little surprise at the end of the album. You're like, oh, this song's actually fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And then, yeah, the one back I didn't really hate. There was nothing on this album I think I hated.
Yeah.
But also,
There's nothing I hated. There was nothing I was like, fuck, that was amazing. I felt like there was some stuff on Song Machine that I was like, oh, that was actually like really amazing. But then like Cracker Island, I had less of that feeling, but it was more like consistent.
yeah.
I think Cracker Island will go down as a good like little like page in Gorillaz like discography. I think people will look back on it and be like, they'll like it. Like it's no Plastic Beach, but like it's really solid. And Song Machine, I think actually will go down as like one of their best albums, probably.
It has like a white album kind of a feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as one of their best, only time could tell.
Yeah. I could see it being in the top. Yeah. Only time will tell. You don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
Yeah, but I think it was.
I could see it being up
I
there.
think like the fans liked it, and it was probably reviewed well. If I recall.
Oh, the last thing I want to say is There's one song with the rapper on this album. I don't know if you know the name of it. Uh,
On Song Machine
I've
or Cracker Island?
on Cracker Island. There's one with a rapper who is also on some old Gorillaz stuff.
Is
And
it the deluxe tracks? Because I was only listening to the.
No, it wasn't the deluxe tracks, but I want to bring this up because I felt like it was pretty cool fact.
Tame Impala?
So
That one?
no, give me 1 second. It's the one with. Oh yeah, I forgot to say Bad Bunny's on this album. Okay, so it's. Oh, I'm dumb. Yeah, it is the one with Tame Impala. Yeah.
Is he on
So the
Plastic
one,
Beach?
yeah, I think he's on Plastic Beach. So his name's Booty Brown, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? So I clicked on his page on Spotify. He has 4 million monthly listeners, and his only like songs are New Gold and something on Demon Days. I forget which one. But I'm like, what the fuck? Who is this person, right?
Yeah.
And then I look it up, and it's one of the rappers from the Far Side,
Oh.
and it's like his like only Gorillaz alias. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, he's on Dirty Harry. Yeah. So it's just Dirty Harry and like New Golds, but it's like one of the rappers from the Far Side.
Yeah. I mean, he sounded like he was on other Gorillaz, but yeah, definitely on Dirty Harry.
Yeah. But that was cool.
Yeah, I liked him.
All right.
He sounded. Honestly, that was a pretty good example of what I was talking about earlier in the podcast. I like the Tame Impala song too, but also just like, they delivered, but like it wasn't. It didn't feel like magic to me, like a classic Gorilla song, or one that would be like a fan favorite. But he didn't.
I just like hearing them together, but
It's like I enjoy listening to it. Like I think everyone like did their best, but if you take like another collaboration from Gorillaz on like another album, like the one with Lou Reed, I think that's like everybody doing their job, and it like works in a magical way. Some kind of nature.
Yeah, I could see that. It's like it like brings out the best in him. Like I kind of felt I see what you're saying, and I agree with you. Because I feel like Cracker Island, like with Thundercat, like it kind of brings out the best of Thundercat, like the way it's written. But I felt like New Gold, it almost seemed like the song was more driven by like Kevin Parker than it was by Damon Albarn. You know what I'm saying? And so it didn't really. It wasn't like Damon Albarn's take on what like Tame Impala could sound like. It was more like Tame Impala wrote a good song, and then like we're gonna do it together. That's the kind of vibe I got.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I could be 100% wrong. I have no clue.
Yeah, because there's like grooves and the riff, but then also like the synths and production is like kind of felt like Damon Albarn. Yeah, I don't know how much each one did, but yeah, it's definitely him singing. Kevin.
Alrighty, well, let's wrap it up here.
All right, yeah.
It's been an
Song
hour.
Machine.
Yep, Song
Cracker
Machine,
Island.
Cracker Island.
Take me
good
to
stuff.
Cracker Island.
All right, we'll plan our trip to Australia soon.
All right.
Alrighty, peace.
Peace.